Jon this afternoon. How are you, Jon? How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. How are yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. Jon, thanks for your time today. So tell us a bit about who you are and what you do at SCL.
So I'm a FE lecturer at Yorkshire Cricket College. I'm basically in charge of the second years, run their classes and make sure that they get the qualification, but also make sure they progress on to university or onto apprenticeships and basically help them find them in the future.
Awesome. So what's your sporting background?
So I did play professional sport for 4 years. I was a rugby league player. I played for Salford, Sheffield, Oldham on numerous occasions. Again, that was a different experience, but again, now I've transitioned into teaching, which is obviously to help the next kind of generation through.
Yeah, absolutely. And how is it going from rugby to cricket? Always been a cricket fan or not?
No, to be honest with you, I didn't know much about cricket, which I do have a laugh and a joke about in terms of at the minute. So every day is a learning day for me. Probably in the 6 months that I've been at Yorkshire Cricket, I've learned so much about the sport. We do try and take the mick out of each other as well, saying cricket's a bit boring and rugby's like not a real sport and things, but it's all part of kind of daily laughs and jokes that we have with the students.
Awesome. So professional or personal, what is your biggest achievement, Jon?
I think in terms of the biggest achievement, it probably was that transition from the pro rugby to becoming a teacher. I was a bit arrogant at a young age, thinking that it would be easy and that I was employable and anyone would want to take me. That wasn't the case, as I found out quickly. I had a lot of support from family and friends in terms of getting back qualified for university and my teaching degree. And then obviously I started employment with SCL. So that's probably my proudest achievement that I've had so far.
Excellent, and that's a good one. So you talk about sports and obviously playing rugby. What's the best fixture you've ever been to?
I think growing up, I went to a lot of fixtures with my parents, but I think St Helens versus Wigan was always the big one. Especially being a St Helens fan and going to a Wigan school. Monday morning was either the best day if you won, but if you lost, you knew that you were going to school and getting a lot of stick from your friends that day. And it always made it a lot better in terms of watching the sport itself, but they were always exciting, especially the ones on Good Friday as well.
Absolutely, I'd agree. So Monday mornings must have been pretty bad as a whole for you though, right?
Yeah, so Monday's never been a great day. I think that's still the case sometimes now. But yeah, but especially after them fixtures, if you won, you always made it clear that you were there and Wigan were rubbish. But if Wigan won, you just kept your head down and tried to avoid the day, to be honest with you.
So as far as online learning's going, how are you finding that? What have you enjoyed the most about it?
I think it was a bit weird for everyone at the start. I remember explaining it to my group in college just before we finished, and there was a lot of question marks and things like it's not going to work. But I think we've adapted through the process. Things have become a lot easier. I think especially for the students and myself, we have been caught out a couple of times in terms of the postman arriving at the wrong time in my case and having to accept the parcel halfway through a lesson. And for the students, parents walking in on them and not realising that the mics are on and telling them to clean the rooms and things. So we're still having quite a lot of fun with them. But at the same time, a lot of students have taken their own responsibility with the work, which has been fantastic. And the engagement levels, even on days where they're not meant to be in, students are still engaging in it, which is a great thing to promote for SCL.
Yeah, and it's lovely that they're embracing the independence, isn't it? Great.
Yeah, okay. It's a good thing that it prepares a lot of them for university as well, but also it just shows what people can do when it comes to, having that independence, like you said, but having the responsibility for their own work.
Absolutely. So any hacks, any advice you'd share to any teachers, I guess for SCL or even not, perhaps other teachers that are delivering online? What would you share with them? What advice would you give?
I think it's important to keep things simple. I know I'm guilty of it sometimes in classes where we talk to try and get students to understand it. But I think sometimes it is better just to give them that level of responsibility and say, I'll give you a certain amount of information, but, the rest of it is on you. And you'd be surprised at some of the results. I know a lot of my students have surprised me recently with the work that they've been producing, which then, should ideally make our lives easier. But at the same time, I think when all this is over, when we go back to the classroom, it's, making sure we give them that little bit of trust when it comes to the actual work itself.
Yeah. So is that something that I guess your new normal has taught you or surprised you with, or is there anything else that you can think of?
I think the new normal has been nicer because I've been avoiding the commute in the morning. So I'm now having to get in the car in the morning and battle the M62. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things. You know, a lot of the time we kind of only see things as a tutor and not the student. And you know, the student is at the centre of the things we do. But the surprising element is for me is how much the students have actually engaged in each lesson, and how much they do look forward to being on lessons and communicating with their friends again.
Yeah, that's awesome, isn't it? So what are you going to do? Where's the first place you're going to go after lockdown, Jon?
I think ideally it's get a haircut. Obviously, I did plan for that in advance. That's probably the first thing. But no, it'd be to catch up with the family. Obviously, not seeing them for a while. We've been FaceTiming and Zooms and things, but probably go to some pub somewhere and sit outside in a beer garden as well, or a holiday.
Family, kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I will ask the question to them next time I speak to them. But yeah, hopefully a holiday as well. You know, once all this is over, hopefully all the hard work of doing online sessions and things will be rewarded.
Yeah, I think all you tutors definitely deserve a good holiday this year. So what advice would you give as an ex-pro rugby player? What advice would you give to young people aspiring for a career in sports?
I think the most important thing is get educated early. You know, that sport is such a vast kind of job opportunities out there in terms of there's so many avenues you can go down, and I think the best situation is don't restrict yourself too early. You know, if you want to be the next big sports coach, then brilliant. But you know, if you can use other advantages within your sport as well to expand your balls potentially in terms of what you can achieve, then even better. You know, I was pretty naive as a young teenager, thinking that, you know, like I said, once I would come out of the rugby, I would be employable and things, but that's not always the case. So if you can get as many qualifications as possible now, then the better.
Great advice, I'd agree. Awesome, well thank you ever so much for sparing time for us, Jon. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Yes, you too.
Cheers.